It is 1:30 on your Thursday morning, and it has been 3 weeks of silence from one of the longest-serving senators in Washington, Mitch McConnell. He's not released a public statement, a photo, or a video since being hospitalized back in mid-June. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is now demanding a health update on the 84-year-old because if his seat becomes vacant before August 3rd, there will be a special election to pick his replacement. Otherwise, it'll stay vacant until January. Joining me now, I have Texas Republican Congressman Roger Williams. He's also a member of the House Small Business Committee as well. Senator, good morning to you, sir, as always. You know, I usually don't start with sound, but I'm going to make an exception this time because I just had your Republican colleague, Marlin Stutzman, on the show last hour, and this is what he told me about McConnell's health.
You know, just the things that I've heard and seen from some friends is that he's obviously not doing well, but don't know if he's alive or has passed away.
Congressman, what do you make of his comments, and have you been in contact with McConnell, sir?
No, I have not been in any contact, and Marlon's a good buddy of mine. He may know more than I do about it. I've frankly been focused on Main Street America and keeping businesses going, keep the economy going, and frankly, Save America Act and those kind of things. But I have not heard anything derogatory like that.
So you have no idea if he is alive or not. You haven't had any briefing from anybody in Congress on his whereabouts?
No.
The secrecy surrounding his health comes weeks after one of your Republican colleagues in the House, New Jersey Congressman Tom Keene, went missing for months, only to later say that he was battling depression at the time. Do lawmakers need to be more transparent about their health? And if so, does Congress need to act to make that happen?
Well, I think a person's health are permanent. I mean, they're private with what they want to do with it. I mean, I think I know that in the past people have let people know how long they're going to be gone or what they may have. But it's something that I think is up to the individual, but also it's important they communicate with the speaker.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, as I mentioned at the top, is asking for proof of life, and President Trump has said he has no idea how McConnell's doing. Conservative commentator Laura Loomer says McConnell is brain dead. Are you at all worried that there's some sort of cover-up going on here?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a deep family matter. I mean, we've all been through situations like this. I think the appropriate time, someone will have an announcement, maybe the speaker, so people know. But it's still of a private nature, and frankly, I didn't know Senator McConnell that well. I met him several times, but I really am focused on what my district needs and how it's going and what we do as we go into the midterms.
Speaking of, just let me shift gears here to the Trump accounts, these tax-advantaged investment accounts for children who are born between 25 and 2028. Why limit the eligibility to only kids born between those years, sir? And what do you make of these accounts?
I think they're great. I think they're fantastic. We're finally going to teach our young children about the value of money, which they're not getting in schools. I mean, can you imagine if we had $1,000 in our account and we were born and 18 years later in this economy, what it would look like? I mean, it's going to open up markets for people to start their own business. Main Street America is going to be a direct recipient of this money. They're going to be able to go to school. And now the government's not creating jobs, it's creating net worth for people. And that's what America is about, opportunity and risk and reward. I think it's fantastic. A lot of it was done by the Dell family, as you know, billions of dollars put into that account. And I think President Trump needs to be congratulated for it, because a business guy would think of this, and he's going to turn young people into business acumen people that will take risks and build our country.
And I was going to ask you that question. Is that where the money's coming from? Because I know once you sign up for one of these accounts, you get, $1,000 to it. Where exactly is that money coming from?
A lot of it's coming from the Dell family. I think it was $6 billion they put in this account. And the president's asking all businesses to put something in as an investment in America, and I think he's right in doing so. We're small business owners. We're going to take a look at it and helping young people. But imagine, again, going back to what the economy has done in the last 18 years, what it would have been like if any of us had $1,000 and now 18 years later, what it would look like.
Yeah, a great starting point for many kids, no doubt. Congressman Roger Williams, thank you so much for your time, as always, sir. Appreciate seeing you.